Greetings, lovely souls. Today we are looking in on a statement. I would love to know some more good ways to clear and lift the energy within a space that seems to hold a heavy feeling or sadness, and to keep a space clear for creativity, joy, and receiving information. So let's look in on this. I have stones here as space holders for the energetic of the question. So this stone here represents the space. This stone here represents the solution. Okay, so first we'll listen in and see what messages we get from the space itself. Okay. So sitting within the space and breathing with the intention to know and find peaceful communication. That enlivens the cells of the human and recharges the soul or the spirit with potency and light. And in doing so, we're able to receive more clarity and insight. So it's first through the breath and the introduction of the intention to create a peaceful, communicative relationship with the space. Okay, so feeling into breathing these breaths and sensing into an open collaboration with the built environment. Okay, so let's check in on solution. So the solution is within the individual to broadcast lovely light, like the loveliness of this particular individual, and to shine that light into the space. It's interesting, the human being has such an immense capacity to affect the energy in one's surroundings, and especially through the vibration of love. And love radiated has the ability to expand on itself and create ripples. Of course, those ripples will go beyond the physical structure and into the environment surrounding, into the natural environment. Okay, so that leads us into the relationship with the natural environment surrounding the built structure. So greeting this landscape as if it is an extension of the individual and an extension of the space itself. So saying hello and thank you for your presence, and noticing the uniquenesses in the natural environment. It's like walking the periphery or the perimeter of the space, collecting impressions, walking with gratitude, noticing the little creatures or what's growing and the shape of things and how the light falls, and then entering the space after that walk with that sense of renewal for what's already here, like the gratitude for this particular space and setting. Okay, and with that we have already a new framework. So we're no longer only looking at the built environment. We're also including the space surrounding and the energy of the individual embodying the environment. Okay? So with that, there's so much to work with. So there's aliveness of the forces of nature, all of the colors in nature can be brought into the physical space. And there can be a dance, like a movement and with an undulating breath that animates the space. So creating like a wave-like motion and a swirling inward to get to that still point of connection. The still point is in the very center of the room or the space itself. The entire building, there's one center point, and that's your access point. Okay, so we're gathering a spherical representation of that center point, and I'm inviting you to stand within it. And just sense with your hands everything that's around you. And feel the light. Notice where there's variations in temperature, coolness, or warmth. What does the physical space feel like in terms of hardness or softness, and the basic comfort level? And go about greeting everything in the space, all of the inanimate objects, all of the furniture, the light switches, the floor covering, the moldings, the doorknob, the door, the windows. Greet all of these. And say hello and sense into the gratitude you feel for the space itself. In doing that, you strengthen the space. You give it back its aliveness. It becomes newly alive, because it's no longer pieces and parts put together. It's acknowledged as a living organism or consciousness. Okay? So let's see how space feels about that. It's like space just took a breath of fresh air. It's like, ooh, what a relief. That feels good. And with this, there's a smile. It's like the space has an inner smile and is very interested in a conversation with you and a collaboration around what would be meaningful. You mentioned creating the energies of creativity, joy, and receiving inspiration. So you want to cultivate that within the space and have the space be an ally and a resource for you. When you enter the space, you want it to feel alive and nourishing for you. Okay. And so this conversation is with the space itself as a living entity. Okay? And then you go into that center space again. And whatever wants to be brought forth in the space, whether it's bringing new items in or qualities of feelings, you can imagine it done by visualizing that into that womb-like sphere in the very center of the room or the building. Okay, and then you bring that sphere and spread it out. Again, animating the space with your unique co-creation. It becomes bright and alive. And it's absolutely here to serve you, and it welcomes you. Okay, so that's space clearing. Just a little glimpse on a unique space and with a unique question. So it's a pleasure to look in on this for you, and I hope this is helpful.